In early 2025, President Donald Trump once again staked his political capital on tariffs, boldly declaring that foreign companies, not American consumers or businesses, would bear the costs of his sweeping import levies. His message was simple: tariffs would serve as strategic tools to rebalance trade, boost government revenue, and protect American industry. Yet neither history, economic evidence, nor legal authority support this assertion. What materialized instead was a stark reversal of those assurances, replete with legal setbacks, economic strain, and mounting skepticism from economists and policymakers alike. At the heart of Trump's argument was the claim that tariffs imposed on imports would penalize foreign producers while relieving financial burdens on Americans. "We're not going to raise your taxes," he often proclaimed, promising that other nations would absorb the costs. But this framing defied basic economics. Tariffs are taxes levied at the U.S. border, paid by importers, U.S.-based firms, and ultimately passed on to consumers through higher prices. U.S. importers pay customs duties, and as Jonathan Gold of the National Retail Federation emphasized, this tax ultimately comes out of consumers' pockets through higher prices. Economists have been unanimous: tariff costs fall squarely on Americans. Nobel laureate Joseph Stiglitz warned that tariffs would almost certainly be inflationary. Trade experts like Marcus Noland and Eswar Prasad stressed that these policies would slow growth, drive inflation, undercut competitiveness, and ultimately hurt both consumers and U.S. exporters. U.S. farmers, a constituency Trump often claimed to support, were particularly vulnerable to retaliation, making the tariffs a net negative for the very Americans they were intended to benefit. Still, Trump forged ahead. In April 2025, he invoked the International Emergency Economic Powers Act (IEEPA) to implement what he dubbed Liberation Day tariffs, a flat 10% tariff on most imports, with higher rates for select countries based on perceived trade imbalances or national security threats. These measures, he asserted, would raise sufficient revenue to offset his sweeping tax cuts while reviving manufacturing. Yet legal challenges quickly followed. A federal appeals court concluded that Trump's use of IEEPA to unilaterally impose broad, economy-wide tariffs exceeded presidential authority and violated the major questions doctrine, requiring clear congressional authorization for actions of such magnitude. In a 7-4 decision, the court ruled that Congress, not the president, retains the exclusive power to levy such tariffs. The ruling will remain operative pending appeal, but the administration has until mid-October to pursue further judicial review. This legal setback exposes a broader issue beyond legality. It casts doubt on the durability, effectiveness, and prudence of using tariffs as governance tools. Some of Trump's tariffs are being shifted under Section 232 of the Trade Expansion Act, ostensibly to emphasize national security, but critics argue this reclassification is a strategic workaround rather than a solution. Economically, tariff rollback is unlikely in the near term. $300 billion of imports remain subject to duties, but the policy may need recalibration lest it inflict more damage than benefit. Tariff-related cost increases are projected to drag middle-class households down by thousands annually. The Yale Budget Lab, for example, estimates a $3,800 rise in yearly consumer costs per household due to Trump's tariffs.